What if I told you that Lauren and Peter's new chapter ends in heartbreak, before it's even begun? Next week in EastEnders, everything's about to flip on its head. A shock custody battle tears Lauren and Peter apart. George risks it all for Cindy, and Alfie drops a proposal bombshell. But don't get too excited, because the joy won't last long. And just when you think things can't get worse, Joel's behaviour spirals even further out of control, leaving chaos in his wake. Trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming to Walford from 2nd June to 5th June 2025. So, if you're into explosive drama, jaw-dropping twists, and the kind of secrets that change everything, hit that subscribe button now and tap the bell so you never miss a spoiler update. Let's get into the madness that's about to shake the square. 1. Lauren Branning splits with Peter Beale amid relapse drama. It's all kicking off between Lauren and Peter next week. The tension's sky high and things are getting properly messy. Peter's still struggling to come to terms with baby Jimmy's diagnosis, and while Lauren's doing her best to keep it together, the cracks are showing. She's overwhelmed by support from folks on the square, and she begs Peter to come out with her, but he brushes her off completely. Cindy and Kathy step in, trying to help the pair through it, but it all backfires when Peter turns round and blames Lauren for Jimmy's blindness. At breaking point, and still recovering from her past with alcohol, Lauren heads to the Vic and then Harry's barn to drown her sorrows. But both Linda and Gina shut her down and refuse to serve her. Later, Peter, after a bit of encouragement from Cindy, finally tries to bond with Jimmy. But when Lauren stays out all night and comes back wanting to talk, Peter's having none of it. He heads off to the hospital with Jimmy without her. Heartbroken, Lauren opens up to Honey about Jimmy's diagnosis. Meanwhile, Peter finds comfort in a chat with another parent at the hospital and comes home with a glimmer of hope. But that hope doesn't last long. When Peter finds out Lauren nearly relapsed, he snaps. He ends things with her and drops a bombshell. He's going to fight for custody of Jimmy and Louie. The next day, Kathy convinces Peter to try and patch things up, and for a moment, it looks like they might be able to move forward. But Peter senses Lauren's hiding something, and he goes straight to Johnny for legal advice about custody. Honey overhears the whole thing and warns Lauren. And that's it. Lauren calls time on the relationship for good. But is it really over? Or is Peter going to regret how far he's taken this? And just what is Lauren hiding? If you've been affected by Jimmy's story, support and info is available through the RNIB. 2. Alfie Moon and Kat Slater get engaged, but more trouble looms. Right, things are getting a bit bumpy for Harvey Monroe next week. He tries to sort out a deal with his old mate Cheeky to buy a limo, but when Kathy can't stump up the cash, the whole plan falls apart. Desperate to make it work, Harvey turns to Kat and tries to pinch a few of her cab drivers as investors for his new business. But Kat's having none of it and shuts him down straight away. After a bit of advice from Nicola, Harvey goes back to Kat and asks if she'll be his business partner. But Kat's already got her own ideas. She decides to set up her own limo business and heads off to meet Cheeky herself. When Cheeky bumps up the asking price, Kat turns to Phil and asks for an early payout from their divorce settlement to seal the deal. They shake hands on it, but there's a catch. Kat's got to agree to take on Cheeky's silent partner too. Meanwhile, Alfie's got big plans of his own. He sets up a fake wedding shoot to help promote Kat's new venture, and, while he's at it, he decides it's time to pop the question. Again. At the flat, Alfie asks Kat to marry him, and she says yes. The pair don't hang about either. They throw a joint hen and stag do, or, as Kim calls it, a proper hag do. Classic Kim. Everything's looking lovely, until Kat stumbles across something dodgy on the family computer. She's rattled, and straight away assumes Alfie's behind it. But is he? Or could someone else be stirring things up behind the scenes? With a certain teenage troublemaker lurking about, this might not be as simple as it seems. 3. Barney Mitchell pushes Avani Nandrahat away after the previous week. Things are still rocky between Avani and Barney next week, and you can really feel the tension. After everything that went down last week, Avani tries to be there for him, but Barney completely shuts her out, and not gently either. He ends up saying something out of line, and you can see it hits a nerve. She's just trying to help, but Barney's clearly dealing with something deeper, something he's not ready to talk about, and he ends up lashing out at the one person who's actually in his corner. Come the next day, Barney's got his head screwed on a bit straighter and realises he's messed up. He tries to say sorry, to smooth things over with Avani, but it's too little too late. She's still hurt, and Priya's not having any of it either. She's protective, straight-talking, and makes it clear Barney's not welcome. Whatever Barney's dealing with, it's clearly weighing him down. But if he wants to fix things with Avani, he's going to have to open up and start being honest, because she's not the type to wait around while he figures himself out. 4. Joel Marshall displays more toxic behaviour. Joel's been getting darker by the week, and next week, things take an even nastier turn. He's already rubbed plenty of people up the wrong way, but now he's set his sights on Avani, trying to embarrass her in front of others. Thing is, she doesn't back down and gives as good as she gets. Still, that doesn't stop Joel from stirring trouble elsewhere. Tommy's proper fuming when Kat brings in Amy to babysit, and when Joel shows up, Amy doesn't hold back. She calls him out over the way he treated Avani. Joel's clearly rattled, but later on he goes and does something even worse. He actually encourages Tommy to nick Alfie's credit card to watch adult stuff online. Could that be what Kat finds on the family computer? And more importantly, will any of the grown-ups clock onto what Joel's really up to before things go too far with Tommy? 5. George Knight helps Cindy Beale behind Elaine Knight's back. George decides to lend Cindy a hand as she tries to get back in the family's good books, but it doesn't go down well with Elaine, who's clearly not happy seeing the two of them getting close again. Cindy's busy prepping for the Albert's big relaunch, but her excitement takes a hit when George drops the news that Gina and Anna won't be showing up. Cindy pushes on with help from Felix and Freddie, trying to get more punters through the door, but before long, tensions boil over, and she ends up clashing with Elaine. Trying to get one over on Cindy, Elaine throws a karaoke night at the Vic on the same day. Meanwhile, Cindy faces her own crisis when her bar staff walk out because they've not been paid. Kojo offers a hand, but George steps in instead, much to Gina's shock. She sees how hard Cindy's trying, though, and decides to back her mum. As Cindy's party picks up, Freddie and Felix have a laugh with Elaine about Cindy's earlier flops. But their smugness doesn't last long. Elaine's karaoke night is a total washout, and she's fuming when she finds out the Albert's buzzing. She storms over only for Cindy to drop a bombshell. George not only helped, he paid for backup staff too. Elaine causes a proper scene before storming off, and while George tries to talk her down, she won't let it go. So, he heads back to the party instead. But with George now clearly siding with Cindy, is he about to blow up his marriage for good? And there you have it. Heartbreak, betrayal, proposals, secrets, and enough tension to make the Queen Vic's walls shake. Lauren and Peter are on the brink. Kat and Alfie's fairy tale might already be cracking. And Joel, well, he's becoming the kind of villain that could turn Walford upside down. From custody battles to shady credit card schemes, next week is shaping up to be one of the most explosive we've seen in a long time. Now, if you're as hooked as we are, don't miss a single twist. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you're ready for the drama, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Peter's going too far? Is Alfie hiding something? And will George finally choose Cindy over Elaine? You lot always spot the clues before they drop. So let's hear your theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time with even more juicy EastEnders spoilers. Until then, stay nosy, stay sharp, and keep your eyes on the square.